What was the biggest thing that you had to unlearn when you started your own company?
The greatest area of improving my own personal learning has been the understanding of this ever evolving, dynamic audience on the other side of the screen.
You all were the first players in this OTT content business. Do you remember how the audience was? Did they take in everything as you all imagined, or were there again learnings there as well?
I was constantly looking at the West and observing the phenomenon of OTT or streaming. And I would come back to my creators, and we were much smaller, so we would huddle together as creators and a core team.
Where are we in this world of AI? Where is India?
The fear of AI overtaking jobs and lives is much lower in India than it is in the Western world. There's never a better way than now to apply technology to do your business better.
I just interviewed Mr. David Dhawan just 2-3 days ago, and I was telling him we were a very forgiving audience. आप जो दिखाते थे वन जुड़वा के स्टार्ट ओपनिंग सीन में one child is turning on a track, one child is turning in the hospital, then comes the name Judwa. Is this audience that's watching all the content that you all make more real, more forgiving? Do we have to live with this now?
I, for one, believe that we exist to serve our consumer. We exist to give the best value for time and money to the audience. I was very disturbed whenever some people would refer to things like दिमाग घर पे छोड़ के आने का.
Vikram, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. So good to be here, and big congratulations on all the recent successes that you and your company have seen.
Thank you very much, Rohit. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm going to take you back to your days at different production houses and studios. You know, what was the biggest thing that you had to unlearn when you started your own company? Because those days were very different.
It's an understatement to say that those days were very different from both a personal point of view as well as, more importantly, from an industry point of view.
Right.
Life in 2013, when Abundancia was conceived and incorporated, largely constituted finding great stories and storytellers, putting them together and taking them to theatres. It was a simpler, less complex, and relatively easier time to tell stories and make films.
Right.
From then to now, 12 and a half years hence, the journey has been one of immense unlearning and learning. The greatest area of improving my own personal learning has been the understanding of this ever-evolving, dynamic audience on the other side of the screen. In the last decade, especially the last 5 years, the choices of content and the very definition of content have evolved more than what they've done in the previous 105 years, I'd say.
Wow.
And that focus shift from not just finding what the right film or story or series could be to actually predicting or attempting to predict what the consumer's preference would be, the audience's tastes and choices would be when your film or show is presented to them, is the greatest area of learning for Abundancia and me in the period that we've been around.
Correct.
And it continues on a daily basis. So it's a constant learning process. We have being curious as one of our core founding values. And I'm happy to tell you, 12 and a half years into Abundancia, we are more curious than ever before.
Right. You know, you all were the first players in this OTT content business. Do you remember how the audience was? Did they take in everything as you all imagined, or were there again learnings there as well?
One of the reasons why we were able to get into telling longer form episodic storytelling ahead of most others actually has its foundation in what I just mentioned about Abundancia constantly building focus on where the consumer is going and what the learnings can be. Just like how we were making non-conventional films or genre-specific films before we moved to streaming, I was constantly looking at the West and observing the phenomenon of OTT or streaming. And I would come back to my creators, and we were much smaller, so we would huddle together as creators and a core team
Hmm.
and talk about what is this platform, what is this form of consuming content,
Hmm.
who are these people who are being empowered to tell these amazing stories.
Hmm.
And then we discovered that there was a tectonic shift happening in the way the Western world was consuming content.
Right.
It was no longer watching great stories on network television or coming to theaters.
Hmm.
It was when you want, what you want, where you want,
Yeah.
for how much you want.
Hmm.
So I told myself it's a matter of time before this is going to come to the Indian shores, and we
Okay.
better be prepared for this.
Right.
As I said, this
Hmm.
revolution that's going to come our way.
Hmm.
So we started investing in writers. I started building my own capability in trying to understand what made that medium tick.
Hmm.
I remember, Rohit, in those early days,
Hmm.
these were referred to as web series
Yeah.
and were pretty much looked down upon by the entire film fraternity as something that was below TV.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
so whenever I would talk to a writer or a director, and most certainly actors, it was almost always a come down kind of
Yeah.
conversation.
Right.
So I still remember when Mayank Sharma, who is the creator of Breathe, he brought the
Yeah.
story to me
Hmm.
originally as a film.
Hmm.
It took me 6.5 hours of one session to sit him down and convince him about why this should be an episodic story. Now, after having done that, it still was just one part of it. I had to figure out how to make this and who to take this to,
Yeah.
and most importantly, what made these stories stick.
Hmm.
So I think that learning by doing and that obsession of wanting to serve our audience the best and the newest form of entertainment helped.
Okay.
And then you had progressive partners like Mayank, Madhavan, Amit Saad, who jumped on, and the teams at Amazon Prime Video, even back then, were very forward looking and supportive. But today we talk about streaming and OTT as being the mainstay of the Indian content market and the kind of amazing work that everyone's doing.
Hmm.
I can tell you back then, we didn't know things like what a Bible was,
Yeah.
what a cliffhanger was, what would be the episodic structure, what would be a multiple season arc.
Hmm.
For 110 years, this industry hadn't done that.
Done that. Yeah.
We've never had premium long form writing happen to the scale at which it was happening in the West.
Right.
So that accelerated learning curve
Correct.
allowed us to be amongst the first, if not the first, to start creating for streaming. And that's something that I'm very proud that we've built on and now created a consolidated position for ourselves.
Right. You said it took you long 6.5 hours meeting to convince him. What was the thought in your mind? Why to make it a web series? Was it more lucrative? It wasn't even, in fact, at that time, was it the big screen, the big attraction?
We had no idea of the economics of how streaming was going to work back then.
Okay.
We are still building our learnings on that. But what was clear was that there was an opportunity to now tell differentiated stories that perhaps were not best suited for a two-part,
Correct.
2.5, 3 hour experience in theaters. I always felt, to go back to Breathe, that it was a very personal story. And I felt it would engage very strongly if people spent more time on it. And that held true for 3 seasons. Subsequently, from 2018 when one came out to 2022 when the third came out. But the greed was to tell a story that was differentiated and potentially for an audience that was wanting to see something, consume something differently.
Right. You know, I just interviewed Mr. David Dhawan just 2-3 days ago, and I was telling him we were a very forgiving audience. आप जो दिखाते थे, one जुड़वा के start opening scene में, one child is turning on a track, one child is turning in the hospital, then comes the name जुड़वा. We clapped and we never questioned ये हो सकता है कि नहीं. Today's audience is questioning everything you make. This can happen, this can't happen. They open Chat GPT and search history is true or false. Is this audience that's watching all the content that you all make more real, more forgiving? Do we have to live with this now?
We've gone from being the audience forgiving 15 years ago, 12 years ago, even 10 years ago, to the audience being ruthless today.
Ruthless, yeah.
And for all the right reasons. I, for one, believe that we exist to serve our consumer. we exist to give the best value for time and money to the audience. They are entrusting us with the responsibility to entertain them, engage them, stimulate them, sometimes intellectually, sometimes in a refreshing manner. But the onus on telling a good story lies fairly and squarely with us. The audience, as I say, has become ruthless is for a variety of reasons. Exposure levels have shot up. Today, sitting in the comfort of your home or your office, in the palm of your hand, you can see content, best in class content from the best in the world. Why should you compromise and watch substandard content? When I came to this business as an outsider, Rohit, I was very disturbed whenever some people would refer to things like दिमाग घर पे छोड़ के आने का entertainment है, one time watch है, पैसा वसूल है. I would always ask myself this question, that why are we condescending towards the demands or the intellect, or simply put, the sensibility of the audience? Who would want to come out of the comfort of their home on a weekend, spend time in traffic, come to a alien place, watch a 2.5-hour film with strangers and not want to enjoy it?
Everybody wants to enjoy.
So I think that's a shift that's so beautifully come into the industry, where in a great part thanks to the streaming companies, including the domestic ones, a lot of focus on consumer learning has come.
Correct,
Which is why you see the overall standard of storytelling, even from a domestic front, has gone up. So I'm saying more power to the consumer. Let them be more demanding. It is up to us as creators, as producers, as storytellers to raise our game to come to that level.
Right.
Instead of bringing them down to what our ability is.
Right. But it's a bit unfair to the producers here with the budgets we have and with the budgets they have. Their budgets are enormous, and they have a worldwide audience. They were in English. They have a worldwide release. So every country releases. We still have a limited audience also. NRIs will watch it maximum here and there in different countries. So keeping in mind that, how fair is this competition?
Budgets constrain productions. Budgets don't constrain imagination. Budgets don't constrain innovation. We have examples of nations in the world: Korea, Spain, UK. Phenomenal stories come at shoestring budgets.
True,
They would be lower on a like-to-like basis than Indian budgets. We need to find our sweet spot. We need to find our exportable soft power moment, where the benchmark of comparison is not hundreds of millions in dollars and hundreds of crores in rupees. The benchmark has to be who has the bigger idea.
Correct.
Which idea, which story is traveling the world and impacting consumers across geographies. Yes, budgets are extremely important. Budgets are important when you're dealing with spectacles. Budgets are important when you're dealing with a story that requires that kind of spend.
Right.
In fact, if anything, one of the key reasons to improve the fitness and health of our theatrical side of the business, if we as producers start paying more attention towards how much we are spending, and how much of it is actually adding value on the screen and to the experience of the audience.
Right.
So I, for one, believe, yes, it's important to invest the right kind of budget where it's required. But that can't be the limiting factor and say that we can't compete with the West or with the East because we don't have money.
That can't be the excuse.
That can't be the excuse. It's been proven in so many industries in our country.
True.
So many industries have outsmarted the West with
like
bigger
a
budgets.
Fauda comes here, it becomes a world hit.
No, absolutely. And I'm saying India is the land of innovation at low budget. I mean, our Mangalyaan is a global case study across industries.
Correct.
We've had revolutions in the information technology and now in the AI space, where we are doing all of this at a fraction of the cost to the West. So I feel our industry needs to get out of this self-imposed budget blues and look at more at imagination and ideas.
Right. You're the best person to tell us, is the audience divided? They will sit at home if it's anything they think is not a spectacle, and they will go to the theaters only if it's a Dhurandhar level quality and a word of mouth, which is 100% entertainment.
Quality is key. a film that goes to theaters needs to appeal significantly higher than ever before to make that moviegoer overcome his or her inertia, make the effort to plan to spend half a day in a theater, because the replacement cost of that time is very easily accessible on everything else. Today, you can go out for a cup of coffee, you can hang out with your friends, you can consume live entertainment, and then you can sit at home and watch content from all over the world for the same half day that you're spending in going to theaters. So, when you compare the cost and effort, you better deliver significantly higher entertainment and value. And the answer lies in the word you used, quality. So if Dhurandhar comes and creates not just a phenomenal viewing experience, but also a deeply engaging story, people have flocked to the theaters in big numbers. But at the same time, if it's a conventional film that has low audience appeal and does not invite people to theaters, even if it is a well-made film, people will wait for it to come on streaming and watch. And again, I go back to the point that I made. It's about value for time and money. And people today are ruthless enough to decide that I like the trailer, but I'm going to watch it at home. Versus I love the trailer and I want to watch it in theaters.
Right. That's true. And there have been good films that have not done well in the theaters, but the minute it drops on OTT, it's trending and people are like, "Ye kab aayi, humko pata nahi chala," kind of a thing. It has a new life on OTT.
Absolutely. I consider the premiere of a theatrical film on OTT as its second release. We orient our marketing and treat it. I talk to my marketing team and treat it like a second release.
Wow.
Because it finds a newer cohort of audience.
Right. What is your decision when you realize this should, say, a Subedaar? Firstly, was it supposed to go to the theaters? And if it is, what is the decision earlier also that this will be a OTT film and not a theatrical?
The key point in this question is that one should not look at altering the ambition or aspiration of a story basis how it will be distributed. Just like all our other films, Subedaar was also conceived, written, produced as the best experience possible.
It was.
Now, if the experience is theatrical, it would have delivered. If the experience is streaming, it has delivered. The question Suresh and I asked ourselves was, where would we find the largest audience for Subedaar? Where would Subedaar make its largest impact? And how would we ensure longevity of this film that he has made with such great love and dedication? And when the answer was streaming, that's not a come down anymore.
Absolutely, yeah.
In its first 3 days, Subedaar trended in the top 10 in 31 countries and continued to hold on to that trending for weeks. Explain to me which theatrical film gets this kind of a global, widespread launch and love. Now, when you weigh these out, you realize that there are merits to each decision. You have to decide what that specific case is where your film will fare the best. I remember when Shakuntala Devi, which was our first straight to streaming film, was released in 2020 at one of the early peaks of COVID. This question was asked to me back then also, that why didn't you wait? Why didn't you want to take it to theaters? I said, I'm taking my film to theaters if everything was normal and it was supposed to be a theatrical release. But I want my film to be watched by the audience in the biggest possible numbers and while it's still fresh. And far from compromise, OTT today maximizes the outreach and marketing push for a film. So we are thrilled with the decision of taking these films and their performance on streaming.
Right. Have stars and actors and their mindset also changed along, or do you think that's still happening? They still are too much of theatre?
There's been a definite shift. I will be upfront and say the shift is not 100%. there are still voices, and they may have their right reasons, that continue to believe that working on OTT platforms or doing streaming films or shows which are original straight to platforms may not be in their scheme of things. I look at it very differently.
Right.
I look at it as stories finding the best way to reach the largest audience that they can address.
Correct. Yeah.
Global superstars.
Yeah.
From Dwayne Johnson to Ryan Reynolds to
Yeah.
Gal Gadot.
Just this week, Apex released
Brad
the Charlize
Pitt,
Theron.
Apex.
Yeah.
I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio. These superstars, super directors like Martin Scorsese have now
like
done.
Russo brothers.
The Russo brothers have now done some phenomenal streaming work.
Yeah.
If that isn't example enough of the medium being large, wide, popular, and here to stay,
then what is?
Then I think what we are actually doing by those who have a conservative approach to this is that you're missing the bus.
Correct,
you're missing a great opportunity which would allow you to go to hundreds of millions of more of your fans and eyeballs for your films.
Right. An ideal scenario kya hoga? That you have a great you release in the theater, have a great run, and then have an OTT release. What is the best case scenario?
It's very film dependent.
Film dependent.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ फिल्में हैं जो एक ट्रेजेक्ट्री को फॉलो करती हैं, थिएटर में जाती हैं, मैक्सिमाइज करती हैं अपने बॉक्स ऑफिस पोटेंशियल को, फिर सेकंड विंडो में स्ट्रीमिंग पे जाती हैं, वहां मैक्सिमाइज करती हैं, फिर लीनियर टीवी पर भी चलती हैं,
राइट,
और उसके दौरान उनका एंसिलरी व्यूइंग भी बढ़ता रहता है। कुछ फिल्में हैं जिनकी ट्रेजेक्ट्री ये है कि अगर आप सीधा स्ट्रीमिंग पर लेकर जा रहे हैं तो उनकी डिस्कवरेबिलिटी, उनको कंज्यूम करने का इनर्शिया कम होता है, डिस्कवरेबिलिटी हाई होती है, it reaches a wider audience and you are able to consume that in bigger numbers than you would have done in the conventional route.
Correct.
So I don't think there's a one formula or one template for anything like this. From a producer point of view, my lens is where would the economics of a film work best for me? Where would my director, my partner's vision be fulfilled to the maximum? And how would we do justice to the time, energy, money that we spent behind that particular film?
Right.
From a creator's lens, a writer, a director, an actor's lens, the team's lens, it needs to be where are they getting the ability, the funding, the ecosystem to be able to tell their story the best.
Right.
So सबका अपना अपना लेंस है।
Correct. Yeah,
और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये लेंस को फ्लूइड ही रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर आप इसको स्ट्रेट जैकेट करेंगे कि हर फिल्म जो अबंडेंशिया बना रही है वो इस टेम्पलेट पे जाएगी, या हर फिल्म जो एक डायरेक्टर बना रहा है वो मैं ऐसे ही रिलीज करूंगा, इसका जमाना गया।
Right.
This is dinosauric thing.
Right. So you know it's great that you're working with all platforms and theatrical and everything. Did you never consider YouTube pay-per-view? Like say Amir Khan has tried, Pankaj Tripathi tried a web series, released it directly on OTT. Are we still too early on that, or people are clear? ये Netflix, Amazon, ये सब हमारे entertainment है. YouTube is for other videos.
We've never actually had a specific film or a series or a piece of content that's led us to evaluate a pay-per-view model on YouTube. I think YouTube is a King Kong platform.
Yeah.
Make no mistake.
Absolutely.
I think that's the King Kong into Godzilla of content distribution and consumption. I'd love to do something with YouTube, but the content and the reason why we are putting any of our products on YouTube has to be right.
Right.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि हमको हर मीडियम की इनहेरेंट स्ट्रेंथ समझनी चाहिए और फिर डिसाइड करना चाहिए कि उस मीडियम पर क्या कंटेंट जाएगा, वो पेड होगा, वो एड सपोर्टेड होगा, और उसकी लाइफ क्या होगी। अगर मैं YouTube को देखता हूँ with billions of watch minutes every day, every week, I think people come there for a certain kind of content.
Correct.
Come there for a certain kind of duration. As I understand, YouTube consumption on living room TV, on CTVs is now higher than ever before.
Absolutely.
And growing fast.
We are all consumers.
We're all consuming it like that. I think that's a signal that we could now take more films. But what the model is, are you trying to ask the YouTube subscriber to pay money
Yeah.
to watch your content
Correct.
when their very behavior there is to not pay money and watch ad supported stuff?
Correct.
I think these are the things that we have to take into account when we decide what to take to a gigantic platform like YouTube.
Right. You know, when I watched Dal Dal, you know, I've been one of the most vocal on how amazing Dal Dal was. Do you think if this something like this had come when, say, you were at Viacom, would, say, a Samara and Aditya become the actors they are and got the opportunities if we were back in time?
Rohit, I'm a believer that it's very hard to keep good stories and good talent down.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, all of this
They
gets
will
discovered. What streaming has done is created our own IPL.
Ah.
Opportunities have
Hmm.
become exponentially higher.
Hmm.
Ability to experiment has become exponentially higher.
Hmm.
Eyeballs that are drawn to streaming are much higher than what were drawn to theaters on a like-to-like basis.
Correct.
Therefore, younger talent, disruptive talent,
Yeah.
non-conventional talent is getting a bigger platform to showcase themselves and showcase themselves faster.
Faster.
I feel that's a big shift that's happened. Was I doing non-conventional films at Viacom 18 or in the early days of Abundancia? Absolutely.
You were, yeah.
I mean, our first few films are Baby and Airlift. At Viacom 18, we've done work which was
Kahani
genre-breaking
and,
at that time, like from Kahani to
Kahani
Queen.
to-
I've
yeah.
been fortunate to be part
True.
of work like that. Bhag Milkha Bhag, Gangs of Wasipur. I just feel that your ability to tell differentiated stories and back non-conventional talent is significantly higher today.
Significantly higher today. So it's a great time and a great time for talent and writers and everyone. Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
You are also. I'll now come to the AI part of the interview. Where are we in this world of AI? Where is India?
At a generic level, I think India is building up to mark its own place in the world of AI. If I share some general statistics with you, the level of excitement of AI coming into everyday life is significantly higher for the average Indian than it is for the average American or an average citizen of the Western world. The fear of AI overtaking jobs and lives is much lower in India than it is in the Western world, which is, and these are statistics that are syndicated across geographies, which leads me to believe that the adoption of AI, which is already proliferating our lives in a largely, mostly constructive way, is going to become mainstay here in a matter of months. As far as the media and entertainment industry is concerned, look at advertising. It's today dominated by AI creation and production. On the film side, on the series side, which is a little more premium side of the media and entertainment industry where content creation is concerned, I think the awareness about leveraging AI beyond just novelty value is now coming in, sinking in a big way, very quickly. The challenge is you have to realize that this is not about some percentage reduction in cost and a few months reduction in timelines alone. Yes, it's extremely important, make no mistake. There's never a better way than now to apply technology to do your business better, to make films, series better, faster, cheaper. How are we using this revolutionary technology to unlock imagination to the next level? What are those genres and stories that we've never been able to even think of earlier that we can do now because access and ability to leverage technology has become easy?
Right.
I've said this before and I say this now. I look at AI as the equivalent of electricity. Accessibility, democratization, low usage price will ensure it's everywhere.
Right.
Every creator, every part of the value chain in the film industry, in the content industry has and will get better access to AI. It's about how you can leverage that to beat the world.
Right.
Every smartphone has a very good camera. Everyone has the ability to click a picture. Does that clicking of a picture using a smartphone make everyone a professional photographer? No. it's still the eye and the skill and the experience of a chosen few, of a select few, who are able to call themselves professional photographers using the same technology. The same kind of cameras are available to every filmmaker. Then why is one filmmaker better than the other? It's the storyteller. I think be prepared for AI to become fully available and accessible to everyone. It's here to stay. It's here to change the game. The ones that will win will be the ones that have the ability to leverage it correctly.
Right. Why do you think that it will have more jobs will go in America than here?
No, I said the average American is more afraid of losing jobs than the average Indian.
Right. It is a technology. Like, I'll give you an example. This interview, AI will decide what all you said. These are the 5 headlines there should be. It will make a thumbnail out of it. The YouTube title also AI will decide, saying all this that Mr. Vikram Malhotra said, this has the potential of doing very well. So we are absolutely using it and loving it.
We were using AI, Rohit, before we realized it. You use a smartphone. If that smartphone has autocorrect, if that smartphone has auto predict, if you were on a social platform that was using algorithm, you were already using AI before you realized it. It's just that the multidiscipline and far-reaching consequences driven AI is now here and available for all of us.
In the West also, actors are scared of AI and they are very anti-AI, many of them. Here also, many are very, they are like, no, this will take our jobs. What do you want to tell the talent that's watching? Why, is it fair that they are scared?
It's absolutely fair to be concerned and apprehensive about every technology. The Industrial Revolution had its share of fears and scares and apprehension. The IT revolution had its shares of fears, scares, apprehensions. It's only natural and human to fear the unknown. The biggest way to fight the fear is learn more. Teach yourself. That's the beauty of AI. You don't need no coaching. You just need a few thousand rupees and access to the internet on a smart device. And it equips you, it upskills you to be able to leverage that technology. As I said, the correct use of AI is going to be replacing jobs, work across the value chain that requires to be replaced for the sake of efficiency and optimizing.
Correct.
Do I see any fear of AI replacing actors? Absolutely not. Till the time there is a human on the other side of the screen, human beings will tell stories featuring human beings. There are some stories that are optimized and maximized without a human being in front of the camera. Those kind of stories will find their own audience. But then I ask you a question. How long have you been watching animated stuff?
True.
That never used humans.
True.
You have blockbusters that are
grew up with Tom and Jerry, na?
$1 billion movies using animation.
True.
Classics using animation. They aren't humans. Did humans lose their job? Did the film industry, did the actors, directors, writers go away just because computers were making movies and animated characters were ruling those? Absolutely not. Most of these fears come from not knowing enough. Most of these fears comes from doomsday warnings. The minute you take a deeper dive and understand what a game changer this is, you're going to adopt it and do amazing work and make more money.
Right. You know what Mr. Ramgopal Verma was telling me is that, all the actors can go to the court and take personality rights and all that. But this is a universe. Someone sitting in Uganda can make a, where all will this court of law operate and get things deleted from you? I guess what you said is right. It's the fear of unknown, where all this will come from.
There are rules and guidelines and norms that exist. Yes, there will always be rogue examples, Rohit. We all follow a penal code, international guidelines, rules that are enforced, but we still have piracy. Because those that want to pirate and get away with it are unfortunately doing that. But that doesn't mean that that's the norm, and because of fear of piracy you stopped making films. You found ways to get better at it and curb it. The minute you got digital, piracy fell down. So I'm sure we will evolve to better checks and balances on
Hmm.
every front.
Hmm.
But that's not, in my mind, any reason for us to shy away from
Right.
the next world that we are going to.
Right. What all are you making with AI? What all shows? What all? And are we still in? Since we are still in early stages, is it? What are the challenges that you're facing?
The largest challenge is overcoming anxiety amongst creators and overcoming anxiety amongst various parts of the value chain about what the right use of AI is. The second challenge that comes in is upskilling.
Upscale.
And that starts with us learning more, knowing more. At Abundancia, I am proud to tell you my entire ecosystem is getting so comfortable and well versed with AI, especially my creative and development side and my marketing function. They're embracing AI like there's no tomorrow. We have teams of writers that are at work whose only brief is to work on disruptive genre breaking stories that would have been impossible or difficult or time consuming to do if they were done in the conventional way.
Right.
We don't look at AI storytelling as we are not going to have to put up a set, we can do this faster. We look at it as yes, all that is efficiency, but imagine I'm telling a director you can do your entire scene and render it and put it in an edit and see how it works, as opposed to pre-visualization, which allowed you only to do a certain kind of work before you actually went and shot it.
Correct.
I mean, I could be here all week and talk about the benefits of how we are using it, but the core idea is how are you getting the same human mind to expand and think differently,
Right.
and work in a manner that he or she couldn't earlier.
Right. What are you making with it?
We have a slate of films, Rohit.
Wow.
In partnership with Collective, we have Chiranjeevi
Yes.
Hanuman, The
Yes.
Eternal, which goes out first.
Which will be a theatrical.
That's a theatrical. We've partnered with Star Studio 18 for that.
Wow.
Next up is Jai Santoshi Mata, which is a retelling of the legendary 1975,
Blockbuster.
the story that first came out in 1975.
Yeah.
It's a complete reimagination
Okay.
of the goddess
Yeah.
and the belief system, retaining the values, the belief, the religion, the piety of the devotees and the goddess. We then get into
Again a theatrical.
Okay. All the work that we are doing with Abundancia Aeon, which is our creative division powered by AI, is theatrical.
Okay.
We have genre breakers like a zombie comedy.
Yes.
We are working on science fiction. We are working on speculative fiction. These are all stories that are being put together by strong storytellers, brilliant writers, backed by research, amazing team of professionals, but leveraging AI to sometimes fully generate them, sometimes generate them as hybrids with live action.
Wow. And what is the decision again for theatrical and not OTT for these?
Take it to the widest possible audience.
And
And
give them
because
a-
costs are controlled, your ability to take risks and unit economics work much better.
Wow. And are you like, where are you with all this? Like, what from what you've seen, the way it's being done, are you happy with the quality, the scale? Give us an idea on where
It's
it is.
evolving.
Okay.
It's evolving. It's not just in India. It's evolving globally. Each day there's new learning. Each day there's a new tool, a new application that's allowing the tech side of it to work with the filmmaking side of it even better. And that collaboration is what is the real game changer. So it's evolving every day.
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing a change from where we began to where we are in just a matter of a few months.
Is it scary that it's evolving that fast? It's great, it is, but by the time you release, something else will come.
That's evolution. As
Yeah.
long as we don't have a meteor hitting us and a
Right.
metaphor of our
Right.
extinction through AI, I think we are all happy till that
Right.
event happens.
Right. There's a Mabhen which will come, which looks firstly like such an interesting title. How was that conceived? Where did that come from?
Complete credit to Suresh Triveni and the writer of Mabhen, Pooja Tolani, for the title, for the film, for the casting, for the story. It is truly spectacular. It's a film that I'm most excited about. It's a take on stories that the Indian audience hasn't seen before. It's a great amount of fun, and we can't wait for the world to watch it.
Right. What else? Am I missing something? What else?
We
will
have Sundar Poonam in
Yes, Sundar
production.
Poonam.
That's being directed by Pulkit, who's
Yes.
done Bhakshak amongst other things. He's an extremely talented, versatile, very passionate young filmmaker. I'm super excited to work with him. We also have the series Family Business with
Which
Hansal
Anil
Mehta
Kapoor,
directing and show running it. Hansal is a director, a storyteller I've always wanted to work with. This is his sweet spot.
Right.
We've got a great cast for that, led by Anil and Vijay.
Yes.
And we've got a bunch of other things with some really talented directors in the works for the next 3 to 4 quarters.
Right. So it'll be a mix of everything. It'll be some theatrical, some OTT. It's always
The
going
next
to be
12 months see us releasing our work on Netflix, Prime Video, as well as in theaters.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much for all the insights. And let's get Suresh also. We have some more questions for both of you together as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So good to talk to you.